Testing 1 2 1 2.
When you see those hungry faces, people of all ages locked up in a cages, without a home, much less salaries and wages, traveling for days in the desert to escape it, only to get denied by the ones that should have rectified. Now the people get desensitized to the refugees, them way unidentified, yeah. They deserve a place to call their own, yet so many have to journey far from home. Little children in the darkness all alone, seeking freedom. It's about time we break those borders down. There's too much segregation, we're all a part of one nation, yeah. We need to break those borders down. There's so much separation, we're all one in creation, yeah. Hey.
After them selfish decision, we're the one who suffer most. Political violence and now where we to go. The war and starvation, knife and hang up in a throat. Refugees overpopulation becomes the antidote. We deserve the earth as a home, life is worth a living. Mr. Willpower, please break all the borders down for the future children. Stone Boy and Kabaka say
they deserve a place to call their own, yet so many have to journey far from home. Little children in the darkness all alone, seeking
I, Jah Rastafari calling. Remember I tell ya, blessed is the man, blessed is Selassie. Remember I tell ya, blessed is the man, blessed is Selassie.
Ethiopia.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, kindly put your hands together for the Charlestown Maroons. My asthma would never allow me to do what they just did, and the little one who was dancing up a storm. We are outside. How good does it feel to be outside, to see people, production, booths, activities? Welcome to the annual Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Festival, brought to you by the Tourism Linkages Network, a department of the Tourism Enhancement Fund, which is an agency of the Ministry of Tourism. I am your Jamaican girl, Terry Carell. It is a pleasure to serve you in the capacity as host. And of course, the inimitable Miss Kitty will be joining us later on. Now, this festival was created in keeping with the ministry's objective to foster strategic growth of culinary tourism as a niche product for Jamaica. And it was first staged at the cool Newcastle in 2018. The festival is designed as the Caribbean's premier coffee festival, offering an immersive experience from farm to cup and plate, while demonstrating our rich tradition of coffee production from the Jamaica Blue Mountain region, and features Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee, coffee-related products, food stalls and booths and tastings in a centralized location. So local coffee purveyors, agriculture stakeholders, including agri-processors and retailers of coffee-infused products, play a crucial role in this festival experience. Now, the month-long activities included cooking with coffee at the Jamaica Food and Drink Kitchen, Sip and Shop, Farmers Trade Day, and our culinary trail experiences. We will be here all day on the lawns of Devon House. We certainly hope that you will get out of your house, get out of your kitchen, and come and check us out right here. With $2,500 at the gate. Pre-sold tickets are all sold out. So we have an exciting schedule for you today. If you're just joining us, you would have missed the drumming from the Charlestown Maroons. But coming up soon, we have the Wake Up with Coffee with the Honorable Edmund Bartlett and other distinguished guests. JCTI Bartender Certification, Mixing Cocktail, Barista Competition. I can't wait to see who wins that. The grand prize is an adventure package from Choco Caribbean Adventure. Big up to Choco. Musical interlude from the great Dwight Richards. If you've never seen him, please come on down and throw your support behind him. We will have a mixology competition and a grand performance by Kilara and Mr. Big Deal himself, Christopher Martin. There will also be a gate prize, so make sure that you keep your ticket stubs for a chance to be entered in our gate prize drawing. And if you're asking, Terry Curl, so what are the gate prizes? Well, an all-inclusive weekend for two at the Couples Resort and a weekend for two at Jamaica Inn. Do I qualify for that? Am I eligible? Many thanks again to Couples Resort and Jamaica Inn for these fantastic prizes. So welcome to our viewers on TVJ, social media. I understand TEF's IG page, YouTube, Facebook is also up and running, as well as the Ministry of Tourism. Thank you to all of our patrons and exhibitors here at the Devon House. So stay tuned. We are going to drink coffee all day, and you know what coffee does. Gives us lots of energy. To our sponsors, our partners, thank you so very much. Without you, none of this would be possible. So we say hi and thank you to Hawkeye, the Jamaica Observer, Jamaica Food and Drink Kitchen, Select Brands, the Best Dressed Chicken, and Pure Country. Again, we're here all day, so we invite you to get up, come on, hang out, and of course support all of our stall holders and booth holders. We will now have our conversation, Wake Up with Coffee. So we want you to understand the ins and outs of the coffee industry and why it is so important to our tourism industry. So we welcome the Honorable Edmund Bartlett, our Minister of Tourism, who has been extremely busy. He'll be one of our distinguished guests. He's coming onto the stage. Please put your hands together for one of the hardest working ministers in Jamaica. How are you doing, sir?
All is well.
Good to see you. I mean, I realized that while a lot of countries were crippled by the pandemic, you were just opening up new hotels and working really hard and keeping us afloat. And it is an honor to have you. Thank you so very much for being here.
Thank you very much, Doc.
All right.
Bye. Thank you. Oops. You see when my power comes on?
When your power comes on. We're going to make sure that the minister's mic is up and running. We also have Mr. Adam Stewart, Chair, Tourism Linkages Network Council. Thank you so much. I know I saw him earlier. So we have the minister here. We're waiting for Mr. Adam Stewart, Chair, Tourism Linkages Network Council. Andrea Johnson, President and co-founder, Jamaica Women in Coffee. Sir Stewart, I'm not as good as you, sir. I see you all over my timeline. Congratulations. See you opening up things, big things happening. Congratulations, welcome. So I invited Andrew O'Kay, and I see Jackie Sharp, Coffee Traders Limited. This is our Wake Up with Coffee conversation. So everyone is seated. Good to have you. Thank you so very much. All right, so I'll start with you. You were actually saying something, Minister, and I'll give you the opportunity to do so.
Yes, I was hoping that my mic, first of all, was active. And, this one is active. You see, I have to always get to Dr. Carell to be active. Wonderful. So here we are today, and I think that we're celebrating in the context also of Jamaica 60th anniversary of our independence, and it's definitely more than 60 years that we've been a coffee-producing country. And certainly Blue Mountain Coffee has been the signature statement in terms of our beverage from this destination. You know that notwithstanding that rum is the third most consumed liquid on earth, coffee is number 2. And of course, the most consumed is water. So, I was talking with Adam a while ago, and he said, that I serve nearly 11 million cups of coffee in my hotels. Just Sandals alone. Now, if we talk about the others, we probably...
Blue Mountain Coffee, Minister.
Blue Mountain Coffee, you hear that?
Blue Mountain Jamaican coffee.
So if we talk about other coffee now, we're well within the triple digit. So what is the point we're making? We're making the point that the demand for coffee is exponential. It tends to infinity. Yes?
All right.
So make more coffee.
Absolutely, and I
produce more coffee. And later on, we're going to talk about supplies and so on too, because the more coffee we have, is the more we can bring the coffee aficionados from all over the world to come to Jamaica, and Destination Jamaica becomes a coffee destination.
Absolutely, and when you mentioned that rum is the largest consumed beverage, if you will, and coffee is number 2, you can't really speak about Jamaica and not think about its rum and its coffee.
So you see how we are well positioned.
We're cornering the market.
All right, I won't talk about this issue of imbibing and so on, right?
No, we shan't. No, we shan't. Adam, I'm coming across to you. You made it very specific, you know, the amount of coffee that you sell, but not just any coffee, the Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee. Why do you love Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee, and why is it so important to ensure that we're positioning that local product?
You know, I think it's something we can be so incredibly proud of. So Sandoz being a Jamaican-born enterprise, we're always trying to highlight, whether it's a coffee, whether it's a rum, our finest and greatest products. Jackie and Jason Sharp are here. They are the backbone behind those 10.4 million cups of coffee. And what we did years ago, in the hotel business, we're always in the quest to deliver more to our customers and give them a higher level of experience. And Jamaica Blue Mountain is the highest ranking coffee on the planet. It's ours, it's our backbone, it's grown here. It tells the story of Jamaica. It's a rich story. And it's a story in many ways that's undiscovered, that many don't know. It's a frontier that we can conquer further. So for us, we began many years ago. We made a switch. We do a blend in our all in-room coffee and all coffee on property. And I think what's probably most cool, as we said to the minister a while ago, 10.4 million cups today, but in 5 years, that number will be in excess of 20 million cups of Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee poured not only in Jamaica, but in every one of our resorts across the Caribbean.
No, that's absolutely fantastic.
For one brand, remember that. For one brand. And that point has to be made again for the coffee producers of Jamaica, the farmers, and those who are thinking of producing. And I want to encourage you to get into the business, because if one brand alone is looking to 20 million cups, multiply that by N. You mathematicians. And we understand how much more production. So where are the bankers who have the money to invest? The capital market that must respond to this demand. And, you know, I'm in the business of talking about demand.
Absolutely. But you meet demand.
Because I create it.
And you demand.
So we have to talk about supplies afterwards. And that's a big discussion. And Adam and I are going to talk about it a little bit on this before we go.
Absolutely. Right? And I want to thank everyone who is here. I hear the persons who are applauding every time we speak about the power of our Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee, and not just that, the fact that the farmers, from the beginning to the cup, to the table, everyone who's a part of the value chain, our jewelers, artisans, everyone gets the benefit from this particular value chain. Andrea, I'm coming across to you, president and co-founder, Jamaica Women in Coffee. My first question, are you a beans or instant girl?
Before we go there, I'm Marshall Valentine. Andrea Johnson, who's the president, she is traveling and unable to be here. I'm vice president and co-founder. I'm sitting in her place today.
Oh, thank you so very much for being here and for joining us. So bean or instant, what kind of coffee girl are you?
That shouldn't even be a question. I'm sorry, but is instant coffee even coffee?
Ooh, is instant coffee even a thing? I felt the burn. I see people clapping saying, I agree.
I'm just saying, but it goes without saying, I am a coffee bean, not even the grounds, coffee bean type of girl. Yes, and that is all I'll ever drink.
Lovely. I know some people felt the burn a while ago. So tell us about the history of the Jamaica woman and Jamaica women in coffee. You know, when we think about farmers and we think about the different persons who are a part of the value chain, sometimes we tend to think men, but talk to me about the history of Jamaica women in coffee.
Well, currently we have about 4,100 plus registered farmers. I say registered with Jackpra farmers in Jamaica. And of that 4,100 and about 23% of those are women coffee farmers. All right, and I know that women tend to go unrecognized in the coffee industry because once you hear coffee farmer, you hear a man. On a global scale, let me go there, about 70% of the coffee stakeholders are women globally. And also they have the challenge of being unrecognized. And it's not just because of the fact that sometimes the men have to take the stage because they they have more of a say in policy and in the household, we find that the women tend to take a back seat because they don't have that voice to speak. And we find that in our organization, we've been finding out that the women have so much to offer to the industry, and they go unnoticed. So JAWIC, we're creating programs to allow for people to see the value that women add to the coffee industry. We are creating training programs. Our organization was founded by women who are farmers, researchers, marketers, connoisseurs, who understand the systemic issues that exist in the Jamaican coffee industry. And we are just trying to create a space where women can feel comfortable to come forward as farmers and also stakeholders, because we support baristas, the roasters, the pickers, everyone in the coffee industry to come forward so that 23% can grow. Well, the 23% is just for farmers only. So that is more when it comes to the whole coffee value chain. So we're promoting or encouraging women rather to come forward so we can help them to have a voice in the coffee industry and a livelihood, because that's the main challenge. Their livelihood is not the best. Many of the women farmers are living below what you call an acceptable standard of living, and they are not producing the quality coffee that they need consistently to sell it to the growers, to the buyers, to be able to get the input they want, the funding they want to reinvest in their farms, to feed their families. So we're seeking funding, we are encouraging women to come forward, we're encouraging coffee stakeholders to come forward, support our initiatives so that we can help the industry grow by giving the women who play a significant part in the industry to help us to produce that good quality coffee that we're talking about here. It's not just about producing the quantities, but we have to also think about the quality of that coffee and consistent quality that's being produced. So that's why we're here to encourage that movement.
Thank you, and we do appreciate it. Jackie, thank you so very much for being here. Now, we've been speaking about coffee, but we understand that some people have it hot, some people have it cold, some people don't drink coffee, but they use other byproducts, whether it's lotions, the candles, the scrubs. Coming across to you, do you use coffee for anything else outside of the traditional beverage? Morning.
Can you hear me? Thank you. Morning, Terry. Great to be here, repping the greatest coffee in the world.
Oh, so good to have you.
On behalf of all the 5,000 loyal farmers who grow this great, fantastic product. So yes, we use every single aspect of the coffee bean to minimize wastage. I don't know if you know that the coffee bean starts off with a cherry. It has a red skin with a pulp. We use that pulp to feed it to the worms, to create vermiculture, to create organic matter, which is again used in the field, so no wastage there. Then when we process the coffee and dry it, there's a hulling process where we take off the skin off the bean. That's also used to power our dryers to reduce reliance on fossil fuels. So, we're really utilizing as much of the beans. And then lastly, we take our grounds. After we brew our coffee, we donate that to a partner of ours that makes scrubs. Paradise Child is here. Big up to Brittany.
Hi, Brittany.
She makes amazing product with the scrubs, the grounds that we give her. And it's just an amazing product. And we just try to, as best as possible, to use everything about the coffee and minimize wastage. So it's great.
I think that's absolutely stunning what you just explained, simply because as we are speaking more about having healthier lifestyles and being more mindful and thoughtful where the environment and the planet is concerned, a lot of persons who are consumers globally and locally want to support companies and businesses that are trying to leave a great footprint and to minimize their carbon footprint. So to know that nothing, or you're trying to at least, nothing is wasted. And you also spoke about collaboration where you may not necessarily use a part of a particular process, but you can certainly collaborate and pass off to someone else to use. So I think you just told us the powerful usage of it and collaboration.
I want to stop in here because I think Jackie made a huge point when she spoke to the value chain of coffee. And a little known fact is that only 15% of the coffee product goes into making the beverage. So 85% is wasted here, but not everywhere. Because in Brazil, they use that 85% to create a whole new range of products. And you will see coffee featuring in the production of various types of goods and various condiments other than beverage, coffee, candles. Then you go into making soaps and cosmetics and so on. I bought, for the first time, I bought a coffee deodorant in Dubai, coffee deodorant. So I know it can be done. So 85% of our coffee product is still to be utilized to create jobs for the small farmers and the ordinary Jamaican who is into creative combination of great ideas. And that's something that we need to spend some time on. You know, how we manage ideas, how we transform ideas into material goods and services that has a value and a price and enable us to become wealthy. So coffee has that potential. And I have the dream of making Buff Bay, the valley, into the coffee destination. The coffee mecca. And we're working on that TEF. We've been trying to make that design. And you'll hear more about that in short order. But Jamaica has to position itself as a destination where the extent of the value chain of coffee can be realized to increase the wealth and prosperity of our people.
Absolutely. Adam, I'm coming across to you because we're speaking about innovation, expansion, collaboration. How do you facilitate the partnership, for example, with between a local brand like a Starbucks with the local Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee?
That's Adam.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, look, first off, I wear a couple of different hats, right? So one of the things that I'm most excited about is in the new Sandals Duns River, which was some time ago, 12 years ago, but we bought that hotel from Playa during the pandemic. We're completely transforming it now, and you have to use the tools in your toolkit from a tourism point of view. So the consumer coming here, you know, they want to learn, but they don't know what they don't know. So the fact that the government gave us a north-south highway, the fact that you can jump from Ocho Rios and be in the Blue Mountains within an hour makes the whole tour and coffee journey through a practical sense of reality. So in this resort, we are building what's never been done in the Caribbean before, never been done in Jamaica before, an absolute specialty Blue Mountain coffee experience that's going to sit center of the hotel. So this is the kind of place that you want to go, spend 2-3 hours, French press, you know, absolutely elevated experience that will tell the coffee journey, and then coupling with that, with the ability to go up into the Blue Mountains, touch, see, feel, smell, and take back home a piece and you know, the rich journey of what is Jamaica. When it comes to a franchise like Starbucks or Tim Hortons or any one of them, franchises are very, very particular. One of our dreams has always been not only to be able to get Starbucks international, 33,000 stores around the world, to be able to get them to consume and buy more. So we, in the beginning, pre-COVID, pre-supply chain challenges, we were making quite strong inroads with them buying Jamaica Blue Mountain for Starbucks Reserve stores. Yes. So those are the top 1,000 stores of their 33,000. We then worked on a blend with them of High Mountain, which would then have been used across all of their stores. And the real dream of ours is there's only 2 destinations in the world, Colombia and Costa Rica, that have roasteries in Ireland that roast for export to a brand like Starbucks. And an absolute dream of ours, which we are engaged with them currently, would be to have a roastery in Jamaica where the product is roasted there. Because today, you know, Blue Mountain has to go from Jamaica to Seattle to be roasted, to be re-imported for Starbucks to use it here, just because of their very stringent brand standards. So if we could ever get a roastery here where we're roasting here and we can sell and distribute here Blue Mountain coffee to be able to use in our own stores, that would be a dream come true. But the big win for Jamaica is export. Yes. It's export across those 33,000 stores. I mean, a lot of the consumption that the minister speaks about globally are those international stores all over the world. Oof. So that would be a dream of ours.
Game changer.
See what I have caused. One, advertising space, for which no doubt an invoice will follow. But certainly he has touched on this critical thing of what I call cross-cultural branding. When the products of your country can be branded with your tourism, and the power of the creativity of your people can be used to leverage the strength of Brand Jamaica. And I'm excited about that because I could see how Starbucks, with 33 countries across the world, are promoting Blue Mountain Jamaica coffee. You get the mix. Wonderful, and that's powerful for us. So thank you very much.
Game changing, and if we can be sustainable, then that's what it's all about. We are joined by David Twyman, Old Tavern Coffee Estate. Thank you for joining us here at the Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Festival. Tell us about your family business and probably some of the biggest lessons you have learned seeing the production of coffee then versus the coffee now.
Hi, good morning. Morning.
Hello.
I guess I'm one of the coffee farmers here. So, you know, to the industry. You know, I grew up under a coffee tree, I reckon. And that's one of my earliest memories. Is you know, rolling through the coffee bush, hanging on to coffee trees before I roll off the hillside. But coffee farming was an accident. It was my father planting coffee, so an English tea drinker planting coffee. And you're really very accidental. But once coffee gets into your blood, that's it. It's there. Yeah, there's no getting away from it. And, you know, we're all part of the industry, and now coffee is more than just a product. Yes. It's got to be an experience. It's got to be shared, whether it's in tourism, whether it is environmental, whether it's the byproducts. And what a name, Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee. It's other people would do terrible things just to get that, and we've got to make the most of it.
And as we've expanded, you rightfully said, you know, we looked at coffee as being a traditional bean, you know, a beverage, and everyone is now talking about the expansion, the byproducts, the scrubs, the lotions, the candles. We have artists who are using coffee beans in their different crafts. What is the biggest lesson that you've learned seeing the expansion of this coffee industry, or what have you had to implement to keep up with the different changes that takes place in the coffee industry?
The coffee business is changing, and we have to realize we have to change along with it. We have to adapt. We maybe have been a little slow in moving that way, but I think we're on the right path now. And we just have to move ahead of the times. Don't just move with the times. We have to move ahead of the times. We need to be a market leader that way.
Absolutely. I'm going to ask about, you know, Jamaican Women in Coffee. You said that there are a lot of programs. Of course, you're looking for funding to support those programs. You're encouraging more women to get on board when we consider that they are sometimes the only breadwinners. Sometimes they are the single parents within the household. For women who might be watching right now, are there any requirements, any criteria, any documents they need to come in? What are some of the things that they need to have in order to start the process?
Just log on. This working? Is it better? No. Yes. Hopscotch.
Hopscotch. Musical
right.
chairs.
Musical chairs. So the only thing that you have to, the only prerequisite is having an interest in seeing the industry grow and thrive, and visiting our website at www.jawic.org. What we have done, we have...
And spell that for them.
JAWIC, JAWIC.org. Okay. Yes, and you'll see the option to register or sign up or seek additional information. What we've realized is that the systemic issues I mentioned earlier, they go deep-rooted. And we want to expand. We want to be a sustainable industry. We want to have the roastery. We want to produce coffee we want to roast our own Starbucks coffee. We want to have that Buff Bay Valley coffee walk. We want to have it. But the reality is, if we don't tackle the systemic issues that occur in the industry now, we'll have no coffee to sell, right? And we have the larger estate farmers who are doing well. They're producing good quality coffee, but they can only produce so much and no more. The rest of the coffee comes from the smallholder farmers, and that quality is significantly low at this point in time. I'm sure the larger processors here have challenges with going through that coffee and picking out what's good to sell, right? And they still have to make a margin. So it ends up that the farmer at the end gets a lower price because the quality that they produce is not of good. It's not very good to go to market.
So the women who might be interested in being a part of the coffee industry don't need to have necessarily degrees or certificates, or you'll help them to get that training?
All right. So when it comes to building the coffee knowledge or coffee infrastructure in Jamaica, what we have done, we've created a coffee quality program, right? Because one of the main issues we've seen, along with others, is that the quality of the coffee is significantly low. Now, there are farmers who may be interested, there are baristas who may be interested, there are roasters who may be interested. We've partnered with the Coffee Quality Institute to design a project called Higher Ground. And that project will involve, it's a 3-year project that will see us building a knowledge-based infrastructure in Jamaica. That once you're either a registered farmer or an interested partner in JAWIC, you'll be exposed to those trainings. And that training, it stems from knowledge from the farm straight to the cup. So the ultimate goal is to have members of the industry Q grader certified, and Q grader is like the sommelier of coffee.
Great.
Right? And currently, I don't think we have any Q graders in Jamaica. And we have to match up to the global standards, which they are Q graders. They have that knowledge, they have that training, but we have the best. And how can we have the best if we don't know how our own match up against the world, right? So we want to give them that knowledge to understand what good quality coffee is, how to cultivate it, how to process it, and and the markets they want to export to. So we designed those programs, and once you log on to our website, you fill out that interest form, we get back to you. You want to become a member, you don't have to become a member to be a beneficiary.
Okay. Just show the interest.
Just show the interest.
And ask the right questions.
And ask the right questions, and we'll see how you fit in.
All right. Jackie, I'm coming across to you. We're speaking about innovation and expansion. Where do we go from here? Like, what is your vision? And do you have any future plans where the Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee is and where it can go and what it can do and other kind of experiences we could create? I want to hear some more from you.
Absolutely, Terry. There's so much opportunity with Blue Mountain Coffee. Both Adam and the Minister mentioned, Blue Mountain Coffee is the first specialty coffee in the world. And by that I mean coffees that are known for higher quality, because it was the first one that was being grown at higher altitudes, which created a more flavorful, intense coffee. And so it's world-renowned. As in Japan, it's called the king of coffees. So when you have that strong brand and recognition throughout the world, there is, a lot of opportunities to expand. I think if I look at the coffee industry generally, 70% of our coffee produced in Jamaica is exported in green bean form, and then the other 30% is roasted here and sold to the hospitality trade and retail, etc. If we can increase production and grow our exports, particularly to the North American market, because Japan takes about 50% of the coffee that we export today, right? North America, less than 20%. And North America is the largest consumer of coffee. And the demand, as was said before, the demand for specialty, high-quality coffee is growing. People are getting more discerning. They want a particular unique taste profiles, etc. So I think where the opportunity is to grow the value add and get more roasted coffee, and particularly to the North American market. I also completely agree that, when you are the producer of the world's best coffee, the world should know that, and it should draw people. You should be bringing people to come and experience what the world's best coffee, where it's made, who produces it. And there's opportunities to improve, I think, the overall local consumption of coffee as well as the coffee shop culture. So we have a lot of local coffee shops. We have Starbucks that has increased, and I've seen the increase in consumers drinking coffee locally as well as visitors coming. So what you want is, as a king of coffee producer, you need to create a culture here in Jamaica where anywhere you go in Jamaica, you will be able to get an outstanding cup of Blue Mountain coffee across, whether it's in a coffee shop, a hotel, a restaurant, anywhere. and then let us become renowned for that. So there's lots of opportunities. I think it's important for us to work together with the linkages group to be able to identify those and take Jamaica Blue Mountain to the next level. It's one of the gems of Jamaica, just like we have good athletes, we have great athletes, great musicians, we have the greatest coffee. We need to take full advantage of it.
And I believe the Ministry of Tourism, what they want to do, of course, is incorporating the Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Festival as one of the platforms. I mean, we understand that we're coming out of a pandemic, but using this as a vehicle and as a platform to attract not just locals, but also persons from abroad to, of course, look at the different artisans, the different booths, and to learn more about us. David, as the farmer here on the panel, to other persons who might be watching, youngsters watching, thinking, you know what, I want to become a part or to have a hand in this coffee industry. What is the best advice you can give anyone who is watching via social media, they're watching via TVJ? No pressure, no pressure. What advice do you have for anyone who is getting interested in being a part of this industry as a farmer?
You know, as a farmer, that's a difficult one. Getting to the Blue Mountains and getting a spot in the hills to grow coffee is not the easiest thing. However, there are so many other aspects to coffee which allow you to get in there, whether it is culinary, whether it is you know, in jewelry, or any of the other things where you're using coffee. That's where I think the opportunity is, the easier entry. We don't need any more coffee growing areas. We have all the coffee growing areas we need. What we need is better growing, better production, better skills, better linkages within the industry, and keeping that name and developing that name and making not just the brand Jamaica Blue Mountain, but other brands that go along with it.
I heard somebody say, hey! Minister, he mentioned linkages, and a part of the linkages between coffee, he mentioned culinary. Gastronomy is huge. Gastronomy tourism, absolutely huge, where we see tourists visiting faraway countries just to get a taste of what that country has to offer. Jamaica known for great food, but now we realize that there's an association with coffee-infused meals and beverages. Talk to me about the vision of coffee, the linkages, and gastronomy tourism.
Well, I'm happy that you raised that, because you're at the right place. You're at Devon House, that we are going to make the gastronomy center of the Caribbean, and to look at the various culinary offerings that are such a critical part of this confluence of cultures and ethnicity that we call Jamaicans. A little piece of everybody is in us, and a little piece of their food types is in us, and their creativity and their style and the way in which they prepare their meals. And it's a marvelous opportunity for the world to come and to find themselves right here in Jamaica through our food, through our drink, and our culture in general. So we are very driven by that, and the establishment of the new Tourism Enhancement Fund, with its responsibilities for linkages as a huge driver of connecting the various parts, the moving parts we call them, to tourism, that must come to create that experience that people come to this country and spend large amount of money for. But part of the problem here is mirrored by your comment about knowledge and the critical value of building that knowledge base and a capacity to generate more information, convert it into application knowledge, so we could use that knowledge now for innovation. And that's why we're excited about that. We're putting 31 million Jamaican dollars in a department in TEF to deal with knowledge, to deal with ideas, to deal with innovation incubator that we've established a year and a half ago. And the whole idea is to bring people like the ladies you're talking about, who have ideas, who want to do something, who need help to do it, need the capital to convert that knowledge into material things. Bring them to us. And although we are peculiar to tourism, we are not unfamiliar with looking at how linkages happen because tourism is not an entity unto itself. Tourism is really this confluence of all sorts of activities and various outcomes from different creative engagements. That's what we are. We sell it. We consume that. And gastronomy, yes. 42% of the expenditure of the visitor is on food. Food. You believe that? In 2019, $1.9 trillion was spent just on elements of food, not food. But $9 trillion was spent overall by the visitor across the world. So do the math. 42% is on food. So nearly $5 trillion is the size of the food market for tourism consumption. And where are we with that? We got 4.3 million visitors. They spent 3.7 billion US dollars. We could go further than that. And I want to use this opportunity to say to our coffee farmers, in particular today, because it's your day, step up the production, lift the ante. Let's get more and more and more coffee infused in the culinary experiences of Jamaica. And let's also use it to provide jewelry and to provide condiments and to provide all sorts of curios and all the particular treasures and elements of our culture that we can leave with people, that they can go back home and say, this is Jamaican, this is authentic Jamaican. And what it does is to also authenticate their travel and provide a conversation piece at home so they can talk about it to their friends, and it also becomes a marketing opportunity for us as they do the word of mouth, which is so powerful. And so here is the cycle that we are involved in to create from a single seed, whether in the Blue Mountains or in the plains of Westmoreland, a single seed that can become a great oak tree. The pun is wrong. A great coffee tree. But what we're saying here is a little seed that can become a great generator of wealth and prosperity for our people.
And
that's really what
and what I'm hearing is really closing the loop, being self-sufficient and self-sustaining from that seed, the creation of it, the growth of it, and also closing the loop. I know that we have to close off Wake Up with Coffee conversations, but as we move down, I'm going to...
Allow me to close with this little piece on coffee, because I think we drink the coffee, we talk about it, we enjoy it, and we perhaps never thought of how this coffee thing came about. So I was in the Middle East, in Jordan, and sitting and enjoying and telling people the best coffee in the world is Blue Mountain. And somebody said, really? He said, so where do you think it came from? I said, well, you know, we know Blue Mountain coffee. He said, well, actually, it came from a little place called Armenia. I said, no, it's from Ethiopia. They said, no, it's Armenia. And what happened is that this little seed was eaten by some goats. And the goat is a very special animal in Armenia because its horns absorb the lightning. It kills them, so they make this supreme sacrifice to save the land. And so the goat ate the seeds and became very happy. I mean, you know, was just jumping and, you know. I said, wow, the seeds make the goats happy. And suddenly, you know, it started to move around and became an exchange for trade. And they took it down to the beach and it went into Arabia. And that's where the Arabian coffee came from to come to Jamaica. So this is it. Coffee makes you happy. Ask the goats.
Now, whenever I think of coffee, I'm going to think about dancing goats. What can I tell you? So we're going to wrap up the conversation, but I'm giving each person, since the minister just kind of closed off with his story, for we have persons who are watching all over the world right now via social media who probably have never come to Jamaica or perhaps have never even tasted Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee. to the king of marketing and advertising. I'm going to come across to Adam. I'm going to say, Adam, in a minute, for persons who have no clue, how would you describe the Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee?
My question?
Your question.
Look, I think it's, you know, we're an educational-based society today. If you go back 30 years ago, you could get away with things that you cannot do today. The consumer can go to Google, they can go to YouTube, they can see digitally and learn. And it's one thing when you're trying to make blood out of stone with a subpar product. But we are starting with the gold standard as our product. We're starting in the goal of every business is to build a brand. Brand is predetermined quality. And that's what makes consumers say, I'll buy this, I'll buy that, I'll spend more money. So we're starting with the gold standard in Jamaica Blue Mountain. We're starting with the story of Jamaica that, you know, my grandfather and father always used to say, if you stick your finger in the soil in Jamaica, it'll start to grow. Jamaica is a land of wood and water with natural beauty far beyond so many other countries in the world. When you put it all together, we have an opportunity to make coffee a centerpiece of the story we're telling to consumers, to be able to convince them to choose Jamaica over any other destination. Consumers today can hop on a plane. I mean, we lost that in COVID, but typically they could jump on a plane and go anywhere. And it's humbled us. It's shown us the privilege that we have to have consumers come to our shores and to spend their money. And when you go on holiday, you have a different mindset. You have the mindset to say, if you show me something fantastic, I'll give you the money in exchange and I'll consume. And that's really what the minister is saying, and that's what our mission is here, is to have this be a different level of inclusiveness. But we have to believe. In my own company, the 10.4 million cups that we poured today is because of quality. Appleton Jamaica rum is on the front bar of every single Sandals resort. 90% of all fruits and vegetables and provisions in Jamaica come from Jamaican farmers, farm to table within 24 hours. So you gotta believe. And anytime somebody says to the minister, says to myself, to our incredible teams within TEF, linkages, and under the Ministry of Tourism, anytime anybody says it can't be done, we say impossible, because we can show you, because we're already doing it. So that is the deeper consumption that we absolutely know can happen and make it more widespread. So brand Jamaica, brand Blue Mountain, you're dealing with the gold standard, and you gotta believe that.
Listen, Adam, not take no chat from nobody, you know. He's like, I'm not here to talk the talk, and I'm here to walk the walk. So don't tell me about impossibility, especially when we go by the mantra, we lick about we, talawa. Jamaica women in coffee, in a minute. Let us, or let them know in terms of the economic benefits it is for them to get involved.
So, it is, so when you talk about the gold standard of coffee, you talk about Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee, I want us all to understand that for us to see the economic value of coffee, we need to look at how we improve the quality and the best practices from the farm up. That's the only way we can truly see the economic value of Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee, because we can market as much as we want, but we can't market bad quality coffee. And we want to maintain that gold standard. So when it comes to economic value, there is economic value at all stages, from the farm to the cup. There are a lot of things that we can use coffee for, but let us not forget the importance or where it started. It's in that cup of coffee. It's not just the value added, but because we can't enjoy the value added if we can't enjoy that cup of coffee. And the only way we can benefit from that economically is to improve the quality of the coffee.
I appreciate that, Jackie, from corporate to coffee, from the top of the corporate ladder, yes. And you pivoted, you changed, and you took up coffee. Any advice in a minute for persons who are transitioning? You know, what advice do you have for them, whether it is about coffee or just generally speaking? What advice do you have for them?
Well, it's Can you hear me? Okay. Yes, it was a great transition, and really it stemmed from the opportunity that I saw. You know, our company is the largest producer of Jamaica Blue Mountain, grew very fast in a short period, and there's further potential to grow. So I think, you know, as I transitioned from corporate to a family-owned business, which was started by my brother and my husband and brother-in-law, it's important to focus on quality, brand, customer experience, a lot of things that Adam has said, and a lot of things that you've said about making sure that your product will meet all tests. It's very important for you to build that brand loyalty and consistency. And sometimes I see a lot of people, trying to take shortcuts in the interest of trying to make a quick buck. That doesn't work. You need to put in the research, you need to put in the investment in your quality controls, in your marketing, to ensure that your product is up to standards and consistently so. And once you do that, and you market well, you have a winning game.
Oh, I love that. David, I'll give you the last word. What are your hopes for the Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee in the future?
I'm on, yeah. Lots of hopes, but I'll tell you one that is right high on my mind, is that I want to know that when a visitor comes to Jamaica and they have a cup of coffee, that is a cup of Jamaican coffee. And the best cup of coffee that they're going to have had, anywhere they're going to go. Yeah, this is what we want. We don't want to have second grade. We're starting at the top. Let's keep it there. Let's have this fantastic product, and let's share it. Yes, we want to make sure that we benefit, but come on, best cup of coffee. Let's share it with the world.
All right, thank you so very much. Thank you for being here. Wake Up with Coffee Conversations, simply because we wanted to put things into context. We want persons to come down to Devon House. We already have persons walking on the lawns. They're checking out the different booths. We're seeing the different booth holders and how they use their coffee. And of course, coming out of a pandemic, we want and we encourage persons to support and to patronize the different businesses that fall under Brand Jamaica. So thank you so very much. We're going to take a tour. We're going to check out some of the booths to see what is here. And we will be here until 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. I don't know if you're going to be a part of the mixology, but we certainly encourage you. If you're still at home, maybe you're thinking about whether you should come. The weather is great. Everyone is out here. The booths look fantastic. We'll have our barista competition coming up. I certainly hope that we will have some of our deaf baristas from Deaf Can Coffee here as well. But we welcome you down. $2,500 at the gate. Pre-sold tickets are all sold out. Sorry about that. But we welcome you shortly. Thank you so very much. We wish you guys all the best as you help to elevate the Brand Jamaica experience in every single pocket of not just Jamaica, but the world. Thank you so very much. All right, so we're going to go look at some booths. Wasn't that a fantastic conversation? Put your hands together. Hard-working Ministry of Tourism, the Tourism Linkages Network, and the Tourism Enhancement Fund.
That's hers.
Nobody else?
Nobody.
Here we are at Newcastle St. Andrew for the second staging of the Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee Festival, an initiative hosted by the Tourism Linkages Network, a division of the Tourism Enhancement Fund. Throughout the course of today, we're going to witness an array of coffee experiences, maybe displays, competitions, and products from all of our coffee producers across Jamaica. So join me on this journey as we experience coffee.
We're so excited to be doing it once again, and it's a real celebration of everything coffee. I mean, not only the beverage, but all the coffee-infused products. We have people that are going to be doing chicken and pork. We have coffee scrubs. We have so many products and services derived from coffee. And as you can see, we have the most beautiful setting here at Newcastle. And we're really excited to be here in our UNESCO-designated World Heritage Site, the Blue and Jonker Mountains.
inviting you to participate with us because this is a very exciting new way of ensuring that we can market our Jamaican coffee right here in Jamaica to the world and build capacity within our own selves to do more, to do better, and to earn more from it.
Barista competition. It is exciting. We have companies like Defcan, Starbucks, Cannonball. I mean, these are top names that we know vying for this title. So let's see what they have in store